up, everybody? This is Carmine Davis, and you are watching and listening to The Carmine Davis Show. I have the amazing Josh Stokes here. Tell everybody about you. I've had some time to get to know you on my own personal and my ears, streaming, watching your beautiful video where you had all the amazing black excellence behind you. Just tell everybody about it. I'm excited to talk to you. Tell everybody.
Well, what up, Carmine? What up, world? My name is Josh Stokes. I am an artist, musician from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a father, an artist, a creator, and that's pretty much it. I just enjoy, creating great moments and sounds, and just like releasing love and positivity.
All right. All right. How many kids do you have, if you don't mind us asking?
I have about to have 5 children starting in January.
And we talk about
Yes.
this on the show now. I want an interesting input from you. Now, on this show, we talk about, Nick Cannon and all of them having a lot of babies by different mothers. But do you have it all together? Like, give us some insight on that end about like what
Okay.
you the father.
So I have 3 older children from one woman, and I
Okay.
have 2 children from another woman.
Okay. How does that go?
Um, it goes pretty well. You always gotta like juggle things, as far as like keeping people happy or like trying to keep peace.
Mhm.
But overall, I think it's really well, and I think it's rewarding at the end of the day to know that you're like tending to something that you help create, or like loving it, or like just giving nurture or attention to it. It can also, don't get me wrong, be very trying
I
and
bet.
dramatic if you don't really have your mind together, because a lot of time as parents, and it's particularly as young parents, we
Right.
can still be in love with each other. So it's like, I love you, but I hate you. So I want to, torture you this way or make you feel this way because it's a us thing and it's not a baby thing.
Right.
So like, a lot of our feelings get involved, and then it starts to make the child like become just this thing that's around. It's like, oh, what about them? So it's like a lot of times we like look from around ourselves, like, all right, I'm not really digging you at the time, but that's still my baby over there, and I still got to make sure they see me and I'm in their lives. But that takes a lot of maturing and growing up to do, because
Right. I was
some
gonna say, because
no
how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Like for everybody else.
sweat.
Yeah. How old are
Yeah,
you?
I'm years old,
How old?
36.
Okay, 36. Cool, cool, cool. So I think that's a great age. Okay, so when did you have your youngest?
I had my youngest child at, I want to say 34.
And what about the
Yep.
oldest?
The oldest I had at 17.
Okay, do you feel like there was a difference in between who you were, of course, before then? Do you feel like as a parent you changed? Do you feel like as um a father? Like tell us like the growth, and do you feel like the kids see that growth? Do you feel like they benefit from the growth, or do you feel like there is one's like pink kid that might be a little bit different, have a different relationship with you than the new one? Like, tell me what that's like.
Well, that's a great question, because it's something that I actually deal with a lot, because my children's age range so differently that it's like you're dealing with so many different people and characters. So um, it can be challenging, but I do feel like it does have a lot to do with growth, and it does have a lot to do with just where you are in life. Because in your early 20s, it's like you're trying to act busy and do a lot, and just a lot of those things. As you get into your 30s, it's like, wow, my family is really important. I need to make sure I'm here for them, and not really so driven upon like yourself. So I do think that my children see my growth, but I guess I would like to ask them more so than say yes or no. But I do know, for one, I do always want them to know that I'm here for them, and I love them, and I care for them. And more than anything, I'm just available to them, and not just and not just a thing that's like, do what I say, or I'm gonna beat you, or I try to find other ways to like be a father and be loving than like all those old traditional ways. Although I do know that like discipline is a needed thing, I try not to use that
Spare the
hand
rod,
all the time.
spoil the child. No, no, no.
Exactly. I try
Well, I
not to
don't
use that.
believe in that, but I get where you're coming from because the reason why I ask you that because we talk a lot on the show about Black fatherhood. And I don't have any kids, you know what I'm saying? But I'm queer. I'm going to be adopting my kids in the next near future. So, but we do talk about daddy issues, our own relationships with our fathers, and all those things. And I think it's important to have someone. I've had a lot of people ask to come on the show, but I knew even your music wise that you would give me a viewpoint on it that was needed to be heard. Do you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, because there is a idea that men are going around, even that I contribute to a little bit, that they're having a lot of babies out of a narcissist kind of mentality and they're not thinking about the children that are involved. And so hearing you say all those things and all that is refreshing and is giving hope, to
Appreciate that.
Black community and healing the process of
Absolutely.
you said
Because
what?
I want to love my father more too. I
Yeah,
want
me
to,
too. Oh, yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
I want to put the whole thing back together and be like my
right.
like the one that created me and the one that I created. Like we all just love each other and just stay connected in some kind of way.
It's powerful. Exactly. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you answered the question. And we're going to go into the hot topics. You're here to co host with me. Let's get through this show. And it's a lot to do this week. All right. So, coming from loveyscout.com, we have Kerry Washington says, I will be there for possible Scandal movie. Have you ever seen any of the Scandal shows?
Absolutely, man. I used to at the time when Scandal came out, I was married. So that was a thing that my wife and I would watch on Thursdays, like Grey's Anatomy, Scandal,
Yeah.
How to Get Away with. So Scandal was my thing, man, especially like the first two seasons. So
Yes. I think I fell
I was
off.
like, yeah, exactly. It started getting a little like, all right, cool. It's never
Yeah.
going to end.
And then it
You know,
ended. We were
I,
like, okay, well, no, 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 no. We need this black woman back on TV. Okay, let me read the drop. Kerry Washington is down to see Olivia Pope on the big screen. The acclaimed actress was asked about Shonda Rhimes' show during a conversation with Extra TV. She answered the question head on and asserted that she would be involved. That is a question for Shonda Rhimes. I will be there if it happens, she responded. Rhimes also talked about potentially bringing Carrie's character Olivia Pope back for a different season or series. Olivia Pope, I like that character so much. Even when she was bad, I like the character so much. She's very interesting. She told IMDb. If you don't remember, Washington played Pope for 7 seasons on the political drama series. The hit ABC show took place in Washington, D.C., focusing on Pope's crisis management firm, Olivia Pope and Associates. Scandal also centers on the White House's key players and the ever messy political scene. The show came to an end in 2018. Wow, that feels like it just happened. Okay, but elsewhere in the conversation, Kerry opened up about the success of her memoir. She stated that Thicker Than Water has allowed her fans to be honest with themselves and even with her. The biggest thing that happened is often when people read the book is that they immediately start to tell me their family secrets. And I feel really honored that the book has created a space of a safety where people feel like they can be their real selves. The Emmy nominated actress recently shared an excerpt from her book with Entertainment Weekly in a bit in the bit, she detailed why she refuses to play the white girl's best friend. She recalled how her role alongside Meg Ryan in 2004's Against the Ropes led her to that decision. In it, I played Meg Ryan's coworker and confidant. That was becoming a new niche for me. The White Girl's Best Friend. When Harry Met Sally is to this day one of my top 3 movies of all time. So once I'd played Meg Ryan's best friend, playing the role against anyone else would have been a literal move. It's not that I wanted to be the star of the film. I wanted my character to be in the story of their own. I didn't want to be the accessory to a white woman's journey. That's real.
remember
Okay.
that dance movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say the last dance.
So true. Like with
Yeah.
everything that she was saying is like, wow, that was really happening.
Right, 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 right. And then like when you think back to it, I feel like she saved that movie. So I feel like every time, even Kerry Washington, even with that intent, even as being another Black creator, like we know, like we all know that we want to come into spaces and be different. That's what I think what makes you a great artist, what makes me a great artist. We want to come in with the idea of showing and pushing a narrative. And I think if you just keep that in your head, it shows excellence no matter what you do. Even when she was Meg Ryan's character, she was breathtaking and you could tell that she wanted to breathe life into this character. So I feel like Kerry Washington is a perfect example of what it's like to have good intentions, show up and actually do your work, think and be mindful of the situation that you're around, the idea that is set up for you and the standards that are set up for you and what you have to do to get past those things. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Totally.
Yeah. Even you as a musician, what are some of the things that you feel like you have to keep in mind of, be mindful of, like some of the um idea or ideologies as a Black creator? Because you do funk music, you do rock music. I listen to some of your songs, and you're like me, where we're different than what I think people would look at us and assume that we would do. But there is still a element of, like, no matter what, as you being a Black male, right? You are great at music. There's going to be a standard of what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, even me, like,
Totally.
everybody thinks we can sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows that. But I wonder if you understand as another Black creator, like what it means, what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a line there, like, oh, all y'all can sing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But there's an option to ever elevate what you can do. Like, oh, we're singing with the message. You choose to have a message in all your music. But then there's a chance that you could just sit here and just play the role and ride the wave of whatever's popular, and you'll be okay. Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying? How does
And
that about that?
that's always been, quite frankly, my issue.
Mhm.
Um, so I started the whole musical journey as an accompanist, like a musician in a band. You're playing behind a singer,
You
or you're
play by
playing
some
behind.
great names, by the way. I want to, because I just want people at home to know who I'm talking to. You played with Kimber Rail. That's my girl. Like, you played with a lot. Give us real quick before you go on. Give us the rundown so people can give
So
you a.
I've been fortunate to play with Kim Burrell, Erica Campbell, Mary
Mhm.
Mary, James Fortune, Vicky Winans, Tone, who's now B Slade.
Yeah.
I've played with man, a lot of people. I've done Bobby Jones. I got to play with Matt Skills. Just a
Mhm.
lot of different that life has been able to just like lead me in front of over and over again. It's
Yeah.
been really
So to answer the question, I'm sorry, I just wanted people at home to know, you, and before we even discuss these hot
good.
topics.
Got out Marette Brown Clark. That was my first professional gig. So I played with her and also Anthony Brown. They're both from here. But
Mhm.
the question, yes, that's always been my problem. Like even as a musician, I've just always refused to be that brown noser or like that guy that feels like he always has to be around everybody and try to get closer to the guy that's making the decision or the person that's making the decision. Like even when you're playing with an artist, I gotta really be her friend and be able to put my arm around her and cross that level
Take
of
care.
comfort to show. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was just never my thing. It was
Yeah.
like if we're gonna build, we're gonna build organically. It's not gonna be anything that's like pressed upon or like made to happen. And that's still my same issue as an artist. Like I just refuse to uh be a game player at things.
Right.
It's just like why can't we just be dope at being dope?
Right.
Why do I have to be like your homie and now you're gonna put me on and then
Right.
you're gonna unlock secret door for me to walk through. It's like, why isn't it about just being dope at what you do?
Right.
And that's all my issue with the industry. It's like, I don't want to play this game if this is what it means.
Right.
I'd rather build my own empire and just do my little thing over here as opposed to always having to do that because it always seems like it has like a level of like weirdness and like sinister kind of stuff to
Yeah.
it. Like
Political
yeah,
bullshit. Yeah.
like people been telling us all these years is right. Like
Yeah.
all the stuff that like Professor Griffin stuff was saying about like how people be acting weird in the industry and do all this stuff and what you have to give in order to get certain things. It's like, yo, this is really happening. And it
Right.
starts from a local level to get you ready. So if you do ever get to a national, international level, you already know how the game goes.
Right.
So it's like just grooming you for one step to the next. But
Yeah.
that's always my thing though.
Yeah, yeah, and always having to keep in mind that there is a standard there. Like there's like Kerry Washington said, like, she's playing the Black girl's friend and there's a narrative. So she gun hoes and pushes to make sure that that's not her MO. Anytime she's on the screen, she might be someone's friend, but she wants to play the fact that there is a character here. And like
Right.
me, like being a queer. Like I think that that would be easy for me to go in and be some white girl's best friend, sassy gay friend, you know, but I want people to see me as the boss. Like we're queer and we're here, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also a Black creative. I can rock with anybody. I can sing. I know these songs. I know these people. I know my information. And I don't have to do these things to get on top, or I don't have to say these things to do these things. I'm smart and I'm educated. I went to school and I did my part. So I 110% feel you there. And I congratulate you on working hard. And another reason why I wanted to talk to you. So, okay, let's move on to the next hot topic. Again, this is lovebscott.com. Disney princesses Halle Bailey, Rachel Zegler bond over dealing with trolls. Not worth the time and the energy. The actresses discussed the backlash they received after taking on their iconic roles of Ariel and Snow White. The actresses reflected on the online harassment they've experienced for their castings as Ariel and Snow White in their respective The Little Mermaid and the Snow White remakes, with both agreeing that the gratitude for representation outweighs the negativity. Of how Bailey, 23, navigated the racist backlash surrounding her casting as the first Black Ariel. You proved them wrong with grace, Zegler, 22, said on the latest segment of Variety's Actors on Actors, which dropped Thursday. I gotta watch that. I was so inspired by the way you handled anybody who had anything bad to say about it. Did you ever let it affect you at all? Um, she asked. You definitely didn't publicly. Of course, Bailey conceded. I mean, we're sensitive, we're human beings. I get my feelings hurt if my cat doesn't want to sit next to me. I'm the same way, Zegler offered. Bailey added, that what people didn't realize we're granted amazing opportunities and able to be seen on the massive screens, but there is a disassociation. People start taking you away from being a real human being and that has feelings and reacts to things. That was definitely something that I had to navigate. However, it turns out that to be the most beautiful lesson to block out any naysayers or negativity out. She also added, I'm an Aries, so I'm a fire sign. People are like, oh, she's so sweet, she's so nice. But a lot of times when I see stuff online, I get mad. She added, it's hard being women under the spotlight. People are so critical and say anything that they would never say to your face. Make sure you guys read that in the description box below. What did you think about? Did you watch The Little Mermaid? You have babies. You know, did you take them to see The Little Mermaid? Was that the thing?
Haven't kept up with the recent Little Mermaid or too much of the Disney, but of course, with all like the racial propaganda happening right now, you clearly hear about all of that.
Right.
So I think that it's unfortunate, but I think that it just shows that times haven't changed as much as we think it is.
Right.
Like, yo, there's been, and this is with all due respect, there's been a you, there's been a me doing this stuff before. And it's just like people act like this is all brand new. When like, yo, there have been like queer movements, there's been racial movements, there's been trans movements, there's been psychedelic movements, there's been all kind of stuff that's been happening, women's movements since the 20s.
Right.
Like, and we acting like this stuff is so brand new and it's the farthest thing from it. So at this point, all this stuff is really like old news, but it goes to show me two things: that like white people are still very afraid of change,
Yes.
and that black people are still very, very supreme, because it's like they don't understand that acting out and carrying on really shows how great I am. And
Yeah.
and out of all the smarts in science and school and college, they still haven't realized that. Like, yo, you acting out because you don't know how to act when God is around. And it's
Yeah.
really you know what I mean? Because it's
Oh,
like
good.
if
I
some
like that one. I like that
we're
one.
appreciated. It's
Yeah.
like if something simple as skin can make
Bump
you
up at yourself and
oh,
be so hateful and say some of the craziest stuff,
yeah,
break down. Some of them are just not having it, and they're saying out loud things that we have been saying about them, and all because we're here. I'm Black and
exactly.
I'm queer and I'm in here, and it's causing mayhem. Just to be, you have to sit in the room with me.
Totally. And it's like you breaking out in hives just because
Mhm.
you got shoulder to shoulder with me. And it's actually really funny because there's nothing new about America. It's all about capitalism.
Yeah.
Whatever is hip, that's what we're exploiting.
Right. 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 Right.
We start to realize because you know I watch you and I know you're a media person, and
Mhm.
I know I'm starting to realize that a lot of that black shit is starting to fade out, and it's starting to go back to white people
Right,
and white, and we just knew, yo, this is it this time,
right,
diversity, but it's changing,
right, right,
and
right.
it's purpose, and everything happens in a 4 year time span, and with time moving quicker, it's happening even faster. So if you go from like 2016, from like when Freddie Gray got killed up until now, that's probably only like 5 years. But
Mhm.
like so much has gone on in that time, and a lot of people really aren't carrying that same energy because it's not sexy anymore. It's not a hot topic. It's not making money like it once did. Nigga, let's go back to Barbie. Yo, we gotta go back to having fun again. Yo, Batman. Yo, come on. It's like it's
White
back
girl,
to that.
and I love Barbie. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that
No,
movie, but I get what you're coming from. Let's get this white girl. This is the biggest. This is what sells. Like this is the biggest movie. Ariel did her thing, but now I get what you're saying. Like this is the biggest movie of the year. A white girl
yeah,
playing a white girl role that's always been consummately white, 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 white. This is what sells. The movie might have been decent, but people are going to go see it regardless. Why?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the marketing was a motherfucker. Yo, did you see what they
They
were
put,
doing?
they put more marketing, they put more money into the marketing than the movie. I just watched it. I love that movie. Don't get me wrong. Taking the race out of it, I thought it was, I love Greta. I support women. The show is pro woman, pro black, pro gay. So I support women and all that. But to be real, if it was Black Barbie in the movie, it would not have had that. It would have easily just came into the game and had
Yeah.
$150 million marketing. It would not have done that at all.
And last point on that, imagery says a lot.
Yes,
Like
it
again,
does.
now I'm not searching for Barbie stuff, right? But they're showing you because of the marketing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I love that. You know what I mean? But it's like they'll show you. And with all the different ones, Barbie was in the middle.
Right, all the time.
That's that's
Yeah.
some Diana Ross shit. She's the star of the show.
Right, right,
And
right.
we got other shades just to make y'all happy. But yo, this is what it's about.
Not no
Yeah.
questions asked. We can't ask questions. Why is Barbie, Barbie, Barbie? They could have, if they really wanted to be diverse, they could put all this money and had a Hispanic Barbie, um,
Right.
Barbie, and all those things, and it might have passed if they would have put more money in Ariel. That's why I think her
Exactly.
and all that is triumphant in this amazing story because they did not put as much
At all.
marketing in the Little Mermaid as they did here, and she still did her thing regardless of the money. But $150 million on a Barbie movie just for marketing when the movie itself costs $100 million. That means that somebody was willing to write those checks to make sure that this was the main character.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's the whole thing. Like the values are already beginning to change right before our eyes. It just happens so smooth. We
Yeah.
just really don't pay to it.
Right, right, right. I see. And you're right. You're right. When this Halloween, it could have been a chance for a lot of Black women to be Little Mermaid. They still wanted to be Barbie. Wow.
Absolutely.
You're right. You're right. I never even thought about that. We're gonna move on to the next hot topic because this is only got time, but that's very poignant. Okay, this next hot topic is from lovebscott.com. NLE Choppa strikes plea deal in 2022 for gun and drug case. Must serve 1 year probation. NLE Choppa has accepted a plea deal regarding a March 2021 case concerning the possession of a firearm and drugs. On Friday, Broward Circuit Court Judge Barbara Duffy took a plea deal from the rapper where he'll serve a year probation per the Miami Herald. NLE Choppa will be able to still travel nationally and internationally through his probation, and he's also ordered to give up any guns and complete a firearm safety course while also racking up 40 hours of community service. The verdict is a result of NLE being charged with burglary, carrying a concealed firearm, as well as possessions of alprazolam. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Must be some pills.
I would say it's got to be right. Back in 2021, prosecutors agreed to drop the drug charge and reduce two other charges and misdemeanors. In April, NLE released a statement via X that claimed police targeted him and media used this case to defame his character. He wrote, "Stay woke. To begin with, I want to start changing lives around you." Oh, sorry. To begin, when you start changing lives around you and begin to stand for something, Deep in your purpose, you become a target to a certain group of people and also the devil. During the arrest, I was set up. Substances were planted and on me that I don't consume slash use slash own. My name was lied upon and I was even mistreated in the process. Every media outlet, news channel, and etc. covered this story to paint a picture on a new surface I've been working so hard to create. This case will be beat and I will walk away a free man. Remember, it's innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. Asking my supporters to stand firm with me and allow God to do his work. Thank you and love y'all dearly. NLE. During his arrest, I was set up. He says the incident in question happened in March 2021 where several men in masks were caught on tape hopping over the fence of a superior towing the caught on tape hopping over a fence at a Superior towing lot. The men in the footage walked around the area before two men jumped into a silver Ford Expedition where they were later pulled over. NLE, who was 18 years old at the time, happened to be one of those two men in the vehicle. Upon searching the vehicle, police found a Glock 27 with an extended magazine and an AK-47 Draco pistol in the back seat. Police also found a purple and yellow backpack filled with marijuana and Xanax pills. Okay, that's what that is. NLE admitted to hopping over the fence, but only did so to grab a watch from a car that was being towed. He claimed he had no idea about the guns, but said that the book bag was his. He also issued a statement where he addressed the situation on Twitter that we read. All right, first thoughts.
Well, I believe him when he says that he's being targeted by the police and the media, because I do know that they do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to show you that, like, you got money, but you ain't free. Like, you can still be targeted.
Right.
But then I feel like, secondly, it's just so questionable because, like, he's doing stuff like jumping toe walls and thinking that you're going to get a watch and no repercussions with it. I feel like he kind of thought that there would be no discipline for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, they got cameras around and they're towing cars.
Right.
So you're not thinking if this story is even true. It's just like, I just feel like it's a lot of not thinking involved. And when you're moving, I guess kind of wildly, it's easy to get set up. It's
Right.
easy to it's easy for these things to happen because, like, the police, the government, like, they watch your cycles, they watch your habits, they watch what you do, they watch how you move. They might even know a person in your camp that's like informing them. So, like, yo, he be doing this, or he be doing this, or he might have this. So they can pop up on you at this time and you never know just because you're not moving the correct way. So I
Right.
just feel like if you tighten up a little bit, it would make it a little more difficult for, like, law enforcement to come in and plan him and stuff like that. Just like make it a little harder for them to do it.
Yeah. I wonder, so I mean, like I was 110% agree with you. I wonder something, I love NLE. He's I like, we love, like, I think he's very attractive. I think that he makes decent, fun music. Like, I like it. But I do feel like sometimes when you're in, and we're both, we record, we worked with people, I'm sure, that sometimes do certain things to show that they're down or show or get that mark or that stamp. And when it's time for the repercussions, know that they have a certain, I don't like to say Black people have privilege, but I do feel like there's leverage there. He's NLE
Right.
Choppa, he has a certain amount of money. So when it's time to prove himself in these situations, he will go jump over a towing truck where he knows there's a security camera and all these things, because it's not going to do anything but boost his, you know,
Exactly. Cash.
his yeah, yeah, yeah. And so now that it was time for it to, oh, it's convenient that we had the marijuana and the drugs, that's a
Right.
different charge from the guns. You can survive in a tap, that's rehab, a couple hundred some dollars and all these things like that. But the guns are something else. My homie got, then homie can go away for a little while. You pay that time, do that bread, get your homie back, and you can still travel
Exactly.
money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like a lot of times I don't want to be suspicious of them, but I do feel, you know what I mean? Like, I do feel like there's a certain amount of bullshit in it. And I think now we have,
Totally.
yeah, we have a lot for the last couple of years. We've had this idea of, Black men help. I'm a Black man. I'm down and out. Help me. And then they're not using it in the way that
It
when a
should
Black
be.
man needs the help, they're using it in a way of making you not see what they're actually doing, blindsiding you. No, I'm a Black man, blah, blah, blah. But they
Right.
use it away with so much. Do you get what I'm saying?
Totally get what you mean. It's like some desperate preacher shit.
Right,
Like
right, right, right.
but my flesh is weak.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, no, we
But
just caught you cheating. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
for
But
lack
it
of a
like distracting you from like, hey, what's that behind? Don't worry about that.
yeah, the devil. The devil's got you
All
looking at
right.
yeah, 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 yeah. And it's like sometimes like I wonder if people when are we going to wake up to that sentiment and like the Twitter, Black Twitter, we will have his back, and even just us, even my own personal relationship with Black men and all those things. And NLE Choppa is attractive. There's a part of you that wants to protect him, but being real about the bullshit and just keeping it, you know, leveled and unbiased. No, like there's bullshit afoot, fuckery
Yeah.
afoot.
It's very lacking of accountability, like dripping all over it. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? You remember the episode of Boondocks where it was like the
Yeah,
R&B singer kept getting in
yes,
trouble? Like, I'm sorry, I did not know I was affecting my fans. It's like the
yeah,
same thing,
and same in
and they get away.
standard.
Yeah, and they get away with the same program every time. It's like a slap on
Right.
the wrist,
And then
probation, community service,
would note for your fans on the notepad and post it, let them know you
all
support them.
black.
Yeah, you're going through a spiritual warfare. Bring God and bring your race, bring all these things into play. But
Yeah,
you be a woman, you know what I'm saying? Like, or
really.
you just rob someone. Okay, well, what about this or what about that? And as you being, you I'm not sure your pronouns or anything like that, but you consider yourself a straight Black male, right?
Yeah, I would go about like he or they.
You said I don't know, but you said you'll go by he by or they.
Yeah,
Okay, cool, cool. So do you feel like, because we talk about on the show a lot, we got like 5 more minutes, and I want to kind of maybe I think I can I'm going to try to talk about this more on the after show if you stay with us and we'll talk about it. But do you feel like you being in the media and all that, that there is a I don't think privilege is I don't like using privilege and Black people in the same sentence.
word.
I have privilege, but do you feel like there is a leverage that we're getting with all these things that are going on, NLE, Tory Lanez, the TIs and all those things. Do you think that there's a leverage of how people love a Black man, but they also love or hate the Black man's burden? And do you feel like as Black men, we tend to use that to garner sympathy and in the process still are able to do what the fuck we want to do? I mean, or is there another view to
No,
that?
I feel you all the way. I feel like yes, and then also I feel like it's a very layered thing because like for one, if you're a black man and you have money, it's
Mhm.
able to get you a lot of things. So here goes like a superiority complex where you're like, okay, so I can do people wrong, but as long as I have like a lawyer or like some money to shut people up, then I'm good. Then
Right.
you have other of like local leadership where like you might have an influence, maybe not necessarily money, but some influence where you're like a father figure or something like that. And then you're able to get away with things because yo, he helped me, man. He did this for me, man.
Right.
Not person. So it's all different levels of it. And I think that it is a two-edged sword that we've had to live with since we got here. Because
Mhm.
yes, we are very underprivileged and slept on and hated, but at the same time, we're very loved and admired and wanting to be next to for whatever reason. We're smart, we're edgy, we're dangerous, we're sexy, whatever those things are. That love and that hate is coming from the same place. So
Right.
I feel like we've been able to use that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, come on, man, God, man, my family,
Bro,
man.
I'm
Come
doing the
on.
best I can.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Mhm.
go right back and do some fuck shit like as soon as
Right,
you're
right,
done,
right. At the
you
flip
know?
of a coin. Right, right. And I even sometimes I think about, myself. Sometimes I'm like when I'm talking to people and they're just like, they automatically empathize with me about certain things, right? Like, oh, you didn't know, or blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I did know. I cussed that I
Right.
cussed him out on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I thought,
Absolutely.
yeah, but then when it's like, when you show signs that you're actually educated and you're aware, oh no, like that's privilege or blah blah blah, then it's a gunning kind of situation. But if you kind
Absolutely.
of play this role of the devil, he's out to get me or all these things, people around the world will stop and empathize with you, which is to me kind of akin to what we're have issues with what Barbie, or what we're having issues like playing that game, and it's like I have a weird relationship with it. We'll talk about it if you want to more on the after show. We're running out of time here. I thank you for showing up to the Carmine Davis show. I have one more minute. If I'm going to try to see if I can relaunch it and then send you a link. We talk
Okay.
more in depth, no hot topics. We more about this kind of stuff
Let's
on
do it.
the after show. I won't take too much more of your time. It's like 10 or 15 minutes. I
Good.
want to talk about you're on the opposite, well, not the opposite, we're a similar trend, but I want to give the voice to someone with a viewpoint, but who has some sense. So we're going
Right.
to talk about some real shit
Okay.
on the after show. I'm going to load it up. I want to thank you guys for listening to the show. Tell everybody, like, give everybody your socials. Tell everybody about your projects. You just released a project. Tell everybody about it.
So I'm releasing the project January 1st of 2024. It's
Okay.
called Josh, I am you, you are me. It's just basically symbolizing the connection that we all have as people, no matter what color, shade, sexual preference. We're all the same thing. We're going through our issues, our ups and downs, our family issues, health issues. We're all together. And if we realize that as a people, we would be so much more successful at just things we're talking about, like self-hatred and the media propaganda and bad food and just bad information. If we really realize, like, yo, I'm you, your child is my child, we're all getting done wrong. You're getting told your lie over there, I'm getting told my lie over here. And the person who's lying to us is like living it up, laughing at both of us.
Right.
Exactly. And that's really what I want to show people. Like, I'm not your enemy.